For here at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. And ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricanes are out in full force today, folks.
My pick.
They were your
my pick tonight. And I got my man here. And look at it. He's energetic. I think. Does Jim Larinaga have this much energy right now? Yes, absolutely, right? He got in a good nap. He's ready to go.
How much did John Ruiz pay you to be here tonight?
0? No. Yeah, there it is. The truth.
The truth
comes out.
There we go.
He's on the NIL package, too.
Of course.
Yeah, everybody's life
Payroll,
wallet.
baby. Payroll, baby.
What
Get
do
your money up.
What's the sign for Life Wallet?
Yeah.
He's got it.
Go.
All right, thanks for joining us, man.
Respect.
Thanks.
Thank you. Go Canes,
Good luck.
baby.
Have fun tonight.
All right, Jeff
There it
Goodman's
is.
here. Randolph Childress is here. I'm Greg Waddell. Later in the show, we're going to have Terrence Oglesby. We're going to have Rob Doster, and we're going to address a certain situation, guys. I feel obligated to talk about it from the top. There's been a lot of drama within the Field of 68 walls in the last 24 hours. John Fanta no longer with the Field of 68. Jeff Goodman, what do you make of this situation?
I mean, my sources tell me right now that Fanta's holding out. He's holding out. The contract negotiations between him and Doster have gotten really bad, escalated to a point where they are not talking right now. They're not talking. In fact, they were in a room at the Residence Inn last night for 2 hours. Fanta stormed out of the room. And again, they're right now, there's no contract negotiations right now because they've broken down completely.
Yeah, not good. Obviously, I mean, I think I speak for all of us. We love John Fanta. We put up with Rob Doster. I think I speak for all of us as well there. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes.
Part of the negotiations stemmed to the fact that Doster is forcing Fanta to dress like him. And dressing like him, for those that don't know, it means wearing a polo with a long-sleeve shirt under it. It's one of the worst looks you could I mean,
it's the Shaka Smart look. I mean, Shaka looking. You can't.
But Shaka looks good.
Shaka looks good in it.
Right.
I don't know if it fits Fanta.
Doster.
Does he look good in it?
Doster does not look good. And
Fanta
Fanta would look terrible. And he knows it. He knows it.
So
there's more to it than just that, though.
There's a lot to this, folks. Listen, a lot of people have reached out to all of us, I think, in the last couple days. It's certainly an unprecedented situation within our network. So stay tuned. Later in the show, Rob Doster himself will be on to speak to everything that went down, and you'll want to see that. I'll just say that. But, gentlemen, there's games.
Games to be
Surprise or not, there are college basketball games to be played tonight.
We got games now.
We do.
Finally.
Like, I'm so excited now. I think the energy earlier in the week was like, all right, it's Houston. You didn't feel it. And walking out there right now, you're starting to feel it. I was talking to one of the FAU freshmen from New York, and he said, like, he's seen it over the course of the season. Early on in the year, nobody in the building. Then as you go forward, they start to pick up some steam. And he said, now 3,000 seats, completely full at FAU at their arena. And he was worried. He's like, 3,000 to 70+ thousand. How are these kids gonna? How are they gonna react to it?
And I think it matters because again, you're gonna have, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people in this arena, and it's probably gonna be the most people any of these kids have ever played in front of.
You think?
And
the most by
a landslide. How do they respond to it? Right. All it takes is coming out and falling behind by early. Taking 5 minutes to get in the game, 10 minutes, 2 TV timeouts. And then now you're fighting your way back, and sometimes you run out of gas. So we'll see if that plays a part of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Let's go into the X's and O's a little bit in this first game. Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, two teams that I think the large consensus, whatever you want to call it, in college basketball media or just fans at large are surprised to see are here. You just spoke to it from the Florida Atlantic side, what it's going to feel like for such a small school. I think there is an element of that with San Diego State, maybe not to the same dramatic extent. But as far as on the court, what's the biggest matchup in this game you have your eyes on, Jeff?
I mean, it's just the guards. It's who makes shots out of the guards. They both have a bunch of them. So I don't think, you look at the second game, and we'll get there, it's more of like certain guys. I don't think it's certain guys as much as it is the collection and can they make shots. We know San Diego State's going to guard. They didn't early on in the season. It's funny. I was talking to Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher both about it, and they said, we brought in these transfers, and early on we were terrible. They played one of the secret scrimmages. And the score was like 92-90. And Fisher said to me yesterday, the architect of this San Diego State program, he said, wow, like we could, and Mark looked at him, he's like, yeah, but can we guard it all? And they've gotten better and better with those transfers. They've kind of progressed, and their culture is there. That's the thing with San Diego State, that if you're coming in, you have to guard, and they're better offensively. And what they can do is, if somebody's not making shots, they can sit them and bring in somebody else.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we always say certain teams are built when they're not guarding, right? They're going to continue to guard and play an ugly game, and that's what we talk about San Diego State. They're going to do that. The question is, will FAU do that? Will they guard when they're not making shots?
They have.
And I think the key is almost the opposite. I do agree with you that the guard play has got to be strong, but I think what does Vlad Golden do on the inside? Because there's not much size, there's not much rim protection if he's not on the floor providing that. And you need that for teams that have struggled to score. So how many minutes can he play, and how effective can he be? Because I think he's had a pretty good
It's like
tournament.
Mensa, though, for San Diego State.
Yes.
They're very similar. Like, neither one can really
Who wins
score a
that
whole
matchup?
lot. You're not throwing it to either one all that much.
No, but I think they
got to
have
be
to anchor the
presences,
defense for both teams.
and they got to stay out of foul trouble,
Yes.
because if they don't, who do you have as a rim protector?
There you go.
Yeah, nobody. So I have three things that I have my eye on. One of them mentally, emotionally. For San Diego State, I think it's a very interesting situation for them that they're the favorite in a Final Four game. How do they respond to that early? I mean, that's not meant as disrespect, but I think it worked for them to not really have nothing to lose against Alabama in the Sweet 16, right? And I think even against Creighton, it sort of felt like people expected Creighton to win that game. Now today, it's theirs to lose going into this game. How do they respond? Are they as tough as we expect? The second one for me, Matt Bradley.
Yeah.
Bad week last week, scored 8 points combined in 2 games. I don't think they can win this game with him shooting the way he did last week. And then third thing for me, Florida Atlantic turnovers. 20 turnovers in their last game. That if that happens tonight, they're not winning the game.
Done. They're done. No. They honestly, that's the other thing is obviously, and it boils down to a few basic things, right? RC knows this. Got to make shots, can't turn the ball over, and control the glass.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're one team and you do all three of those, you're winning the game.
Because
You're
no
winning
one
the game.
knows what you're going to get in the offensive end, who's going to make shots.
That's right.
That's why I think San Diego State's favorite, because we know defensively
They're
going to
come.
be there.
Yeah.
They're going to be there.
All right, let's do picks, and then we'll go to the second game. Who you got, Jeff?
I've had San Diego State. Again, they're only a 2-point favorite. Is it still 2?
It's 2. At
So it
Bet
hasn't
Rivers, by
moved.
the way. Lovely Bet Rivers.
It
Has not
hasn't moved all week, which is interesting. Again, to me, I trust San Diego State a little bit more. I trust their culture. Both teams are old. San Diego State's even older than Florida Atlantic. I think that matters, especially in a venue, in a building like this, where they've played some big-time environments. Florida Atlantic obviously played at the Garden, but they're not used to this.
Mm-hmm. I don't think either team is used to it, and I'm going to go FAU. I just think their ability to go to their bench and get offense.
How many times have you flipped this week?
Oh, it's been a couple. Maybe I just flipped back a second ago. I just flipped after your call.
Right.
I did. That's our closest.
Yeah.
That's why the point spread. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go FAU.
It's a tough one to pick.
It's a tough one because I think both of their coaches are strong.
Yep.
I think both of them, and watching them play, it screams it.
Yeah, it's like, what's the coaching advantage?
yes.
All right, Dutch is older, but
Yeah.
Dusty's up and coming, and obviously, it's great. Dusty May was a manager for Bob Knight.
Oh.
Like, think about that. He's a manager for Bob Knight.
Crazy. Wild. All right, I'm with RC, just to break the tie for the record. Florida Atlantic. I think just
You hate San Diego State, though. Let's
it's
face
a
it.
soul
You're a
pick,
hater.
let's be
You're a
honest.
hater.
It's a heart and a soul pick. I do not
Did
want
you
to
hate
watch.
Kawhi Leonard?
No, he's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
He's fine.
He may be. If they win, he's going to be here. He might even smile if he comes.
That is highly unlikely, Jeff.
He might.
We'll see.
I might get him to laugh on it.
That would be the most
He laughed. I
exciting
talked
thing.
to him a few years ago in Boston. He laughed.
A smile from Kawhi Leonard would be the most exciting thing to watch for a San Diego State basketball fan in 20 years. All right, let's move on, guys. Miami against UConn. A spicy one for sure. UConn, the favorite in this game, the favorite in this entire tournament at this point. They are minus 130 at Bet Rivers to win the championship.
You like that, right? You like that?
I think it's accurate, but I can't talk myself out of Miami tonight. Plus
Me either.
5.5 points, that's too many points.
I like the money line on that one, to be honest. I just think Miami, again, you go back and forth, and I know Jordan Hawkins is going to play. He's going to start tonight. How effective is he going to be is going to be a major question.
What's the deal there?
Again, I've been told, he's not feeling great, but obviously he's going to give it a go. You're talking about the Final Four.
Right.
We just don't know how effective he's going to be. I don't think he knows how effective he's going to be at this point.
Is this like a TO stomach bug in Vegas, or?
If it is, then he'll be back and he'll be fine because T.O.'s was about as overblown as anything. T.O. had a little bellyache, and he was out for the day. So, no, listen, to me, they need Hawkins. They got to have Hawkins, and they got to have more than that. They have more weapons. That's the thing. They're deeper, and they're deeper up front, and that's what scares me. Obviously, I'm picking Miami, but it's with the hope that Norshad can stay out of foul trouble.
He has
Because
to.
if he doesn't, they're done.
Yeah, if
They're
he doesn't,
done. They're
they're
finished.
done.
Even if he picks up 2 early ones, they're in major, major trouble.
I think if he gets one in the first 5 minutes, you got to take him out. You can ill afford for him to pick up 2.
I would
minutes.
almost love, and they won't, bring him off the bench because I get so scared. Well, early on, you're hyped up in a game like this. How hyped are you? And then you've got these officials that are probably going to want to call it early. They're not going to want to let the game get out of hand. So a lot of times, you know this, what do you do with some of those bigs that can't stay out of foul trouble? They haven't done it all year, so they're probably not going to do it. But if I was Larrañaga, even a minute in, I might just go with one, Walker, come start. Go ahead, start. You pick up a foul or 2. I don't care. Set the tone. Hammer them.
It's 2 big physical guys in there to start, and they're going to try to impose their will on one another.
Right.
And I'm with you. I think whichever one picks up the first one, you got to watch. And then Connecticut, UConn has Klingen coming.
Yeah, that's the
we
thing.
know that. But I think even for him, because defensively he plays a little different. He's not out hedging and ball screens. They play a little more drop coverage with him, which I think favors Miami. So for Miami, I want to get Sonogo out of the game as early as possible, attacking him in those ball screens, and also with the matchup with No Chad O'Meara. I think it's just 2 physical guys pushing each other around. We'll see if they let them play. But who gets the first one of those 2?
Don't you look at it,
goes a
though,
long
as
way.
a pretty even, like top 6, 7 guys are pretty even? No, you don't?
No, I don't. I think Miami's
Top 6.
well, I think they're just offensively a little better. And they do it different. They're more explosive, I'd say.
Yes.
They're just more explosive on the offensive end playing. I think they're underrated in how they score. I think they attack the paint differently off the dribble than people think. They're a really good 3-point shooting team, so we'll see.
But what's special about UConn isn't necessarily the top 6. They're good top 6.
It's
the
their
depth,
second group.
right?
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
their
fact
second
that they're going to have 10 guys in
Yes.
this game that you feel really good about.
Yeah, and if like Joey Calcaterra's hitting shots.
But that's the thing.
Right?
Is he making shots?
If not, he's out of the game.
Right, and
Right.
Jackson. Right, which is it? Andrew freaking Jackson tonight, or is it another? Is it
Andrew Jackson?
I'm sorry.
Who's Andrew Jackson? Andrew Jackson, the former president?
No.
That one?
I'm picking with.
He could shoot? I didn't know Andrew Jackson could shoot. No, but you're
Andre,
right. They're
he's
going to play him like
freaking
Rondo,
Jackson.
probably, because
Yeah,
you should,
yeah.
and dare him to make
And-
the shot, especially in a big arena like this. I'd Rondo him every time. And
We
just
saw that work
sit.
last night in the women's game, right? By the
Yeah,
way.
you think?
I mean, that was unprecedented.
I mean, maybe you want to double her, Caitlin
know.
Clark? Maybe.
Well, I'm talking the Caitlin Clark's
the
giving
opposite.
the shoot.
The way
Just
they
leaving
just
wide
set
open.
the paint, 5
Right.
people in the paint.
That is unprecedented. But hey, it worked. It worked.
worked.
All right. We didn't do picks yet. Are you going Miami? You said you like money line.
I am. I'm going
Wow.
Miami here.
Okay.
Going Miami.
I like Miami.
But again, I don't love either.
No,
Like, I'm torn on both.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can see it going either way. I just I like the under in the first, and I like the money line in the second.
My guy. I see it. The value there is on Miami, I will say that, but it terrifies me. Again, it terrifies me. All 3 of us are saying that. It just
Yeah, it
feels
is.
so
I know.
icky. UConn's the best team in this tournament. All right, quickly, bold predictions. Give me your boldest prediction. What is going to happen tonight? Give me whether it's a player going for 35 points, whether it's a coach getting technical. What's going to happen that's wild, crazy? What do you got, RC?
I don't. You know what? If I had to guess, I'm gonna say. My biggest thing is I think Miami is the better team, and I think Miami gets it done tonight. I don't think it's considering the money line. Everyone's expecting UConn to clear favorite. This tournament has shown us it's been nothing but upsets, and I think it continues in this tournament.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Wong just shows out tonight. I think he shows out as the best player on the court and just goes for, 28, 30 points, and he's the one dude who I just trust. I don't think he gets rattled.
No.
Now, again, he can have some really poor shooting performances, but I think he shows out tonight, and he's the best player on the floor.
Wow. Okay. I'll go back to the Florida Atlantic San Diego State game. I think Florida Atlantic makes shots early, and this gets ugly.
Ooh.
That's my prediction.
Well, it's hard. I mean, if San Diego State gets down,
Yep.
how do you
Avalanche.
fight back? Yeah.
Avalanche.
It'd be hard.
Who shows up for that group?
For who? San Diego State?
San Diego State. Offensively.
I mean, you
because
got to have Bradley. You got to have Parrish.
I think FAU is going to force them to have to score. And who steps up and score among
Got to
the
be
guards?
Matt Bradley.
Well,
Got to be Matt Bradley.
But aside from him, because he's the only guy that averages double figures.
Yeah,
right?
and
So
Parrish
who
has
else?
been there. He's
Parrish-
got
yes,
to do it.
it's gotta
Tramel's
be-
been
it's gotta be
good.
Trammell.
Tramel's capable,
Yeah.
but that's the thing.
Two
is
of those 3 guys, I
have
think,
to do
has to
something.
be
Yeah.
not just in double figures. I mean 15 to 20 points.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Are we going to Doster here soon? No, we're still going. Okay, we're still going. Understood. Let's go back to game
Have
one.
you been out there yet?
Yeah.
Have you been out there?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of a newcomer to this Final Four scene.
Sure.
What's your take right now on Houston, just kind of the atmosphere, and if it's not full, if this is a 60, 75%, full arena, does it matter? Like,
it feels different than last year, I'll say that, as someone who this is my second Final Four in this spot, right? I think playing in a dome has its own challenges in general, but playing in a dome that is filled and it's just electric with every single play versus playing in a dome that's, who knows, 60, 70%. I haven't been out there in 30 minutes.
Especially
maybe
for
it's
this
filled
first
up.
game.
And let's be honest, too. You're never going to get better. And I mean this. How much better are you ever going to get than K's last year in the Carolina-Duke matchup in the final?
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
You're not. You're not.
You're just not. So comparing it to that,
it's like a
just
total
unfair.
flip.
It is. It's totally.
I was just talking to Jim Nantz
unfair.
about it,
It's
and he said, he's like, there's so many good storylines.
It is, and it's
Like,
getting
that's the
overshadowed by
beauty
it.
of this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
so what? Not as many casuals are going to be watching, but there's so many great storylines with these four teams, and it's his last Final Four for Jim Nantz. How about that?
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's amazing
He's
career.
got the way, the street sign out front.
Yeah.
All right, so going through the two games tonight, back to the first one, Florida Atlantic, San Diego State. If I'm right in my prediction, if Florida Atlantic is the team that comes away with this, what happened? What's the one most important thing Florida Atlantic did to secure the victory?
I mean, like both of you said, I mean, they got to get out, make shots early. Make San Diego State have to chase them because that's not their game. Right? If you get out early and make some threes and get maybe Mensa in foul trouble, to me, I think you get them playing a game that they don't want to play at all, and they're not equipped to play.
But just like we talked about the officiating and foul trouble in the second game, I think it matters this game because San Diego State is the more physical team.
Yeah.
How will this game be officiated? It'll be major.
Be interesting. John Higgins on the call, Kip Kissinger on the call, Bert Smith. Yeah, Higgins. Good thing Higgins doesn't have the second one because Higgins could easily run Hurley out of the building.
Right. Oh, and that's, I mean,
He won't. With the first one, I mean, those are two of the most mellow coaches of all time, Dusty and Dutch. They're not going to say a word.
So are you predicting some drama with Hurley tonight? Is that what we're saying?
Well, no. I mean, Jeffrey Anderson's doing the second game.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, like, why would you possibly put a guy, and they put him on other games since, and they've gotten along and they're fine. But why would you put a referee in the Final Four that Dan Hurley called a blanking clown? And it was caught on TV multiple times. Why would you bother? Because if something does happen,
it adds a narrative to the story, and I think it puts Dan on his piece.
Yeah, that's why you think they did it.
Oh, absolutely.
You think they did it on purpose of like, hey, he's going to see Jeffrey Anderson and say, I got to be on my best behavior.
I honestly don't think they.
Yes, they had to know. You're wrong.
No. I think they knew. I don't think they care.
Yes,
and I think they like.
had to.
I think they like. Hey, it's on you, Dan, to figure this out. Keep your mouth closed, coach your team, and leave him alone.
I actually think where you were going with it to start is right. With like, hey, Dan, we're going to show you.
Yeah.
We're going to show you here. We're going to put Jeffrey Anderson on this, and you can't say shit.
You can't say a thing.
I mean,
You can't say a damn
that's
thing.
crazy,
that's
right?
devious if that happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but I like
These refs are boys.
they're not stupid in making like
Right.
it had to have been
Yes.
discussed behind closed
And
doors.
Hurley has said, I wasn't good with the refs for a while. I
Yeah.
mean, he blamed it on me,
Yeah.
part of it. But I mean,
Everybody blames
seriously.
you for that.
But seriously, like he has admitted on the
Yeah.
podium that,
Yeah.
hey, I was too into calling
Yeah.
the office and not thinking about my team. And I think he's been better for the most part. And again, with Jeffrey Anderson out there, I think he's got to be in his best
He definitely
behavior.
knows that in the back of his mind. There's no doubt about that.
It's
Final
also-
Four. And you don't have people on top of you.
Right.
That's the other thing. They're not literally on top of Hurley here.
Sure.
So it's harder to get him quite as riled up.
It's also easier to be better when you're winning games by 20 points.
Sure,
right? Like,
sure.
He hasn't been under
No reason
fire.
to be upset yet.
No, yet, right? That's the key. I see the smirk. Well, yesterday at the show, we posed the question, who's the coach for the next 25 years? And a lot of our answers were Danny Hurley.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That
A little
shocked
bit
me.
surprised.
I mean, what he's doing
We didn't even
is
let me
incredible.
talk about Shire on that one, really.
Yeah.
Did you like that Shire pick or no? I mean, he's 35.
I think he'll be around for a while.
35, he's that
He's
Duke.
handpicked by the GOAT. And,
That's all I'm saying.
And the recruiting's going great. He's going to be
Correct.
there. I am sure he'll be there for the next.
I just think it's the safest pick in a way
Yeah.
because he already, year one was critical,
really good.
right? Seeing how he was going to be in year one.
If he handled year one the way he did,
Right.
everything else to me is easy.
I agree.
Player retainment now, too. I mean,
Yes.
bringing back Proctor
And
already.
Proctor
not
and
just that,
Mitchell.
the
Yeah.
recruiting again. Right?
Yes.
He's crushed it back to
And
back.
you're probably going to have what's his name? Roach. I assume he's got to come back. Where's he going to go? So you can have a veteran in Roach, Proctor at point guard with a year under his belt, right? So that's your backcourt. Mitchell, who's now healthy and just a tough, really good wing. Then you add the recruiting class they got.
I think the key is going to be Lively, whether he comes back or not.
That's a great call. I don't know
if he comes back.
It's a tough call for Lively. I mean, he'll be a first-round pick for sure.
If he's first round for sure, I think he goes.
I think he's first round for sure.
I think for him,
to show how he impacted the game defensively.
No,
how do you not? How do you not take him in the first round?
Yeah, but he's going to go to G League.
Fine.
And
So you try to develop him. Yeah. But you got a rim running defensive.
I think if he comes back to school, I think he goes higher. And I think he puts himself in a better situation.
Listen, I would agree.
Because I think it's just really hard when you go lower in the first round for somebody like him to get back up. I think if he
the investment is there.
If
you have to
change the investment. I think it forces him out on the floor for what he is, and he's not physically ready to do that in the NBA.
He is not.
He's not going to. He's not going to play the way he's playing in college in the NBA right now. He's just not physically ready to do that.
If you're John Shire, you could have Derek Lively back for another year or Hunter Dickinson next year. Who do you take?
Lively.
I take Lively for that team.
No question.
For that team.
Yes, with that team.
Because
Ryan Young is still there.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, well, we made it about 20 minutes talking about the games in the Final Four. Before we made our way to Duke, I apologize. That's on me. We won't let it happen again because we have some drama to talk about next. Rob Doster will be on to address the John Fanta situation with Terrence Oglesby. That's next on the Field of 68 live from the Final Four.
Today's episode of the Field of 68 After Dark is presented by our partners over at Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's Final Four games. In pick'em, all you do is pick whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether it's points or rebounds or assists or all of them combined. If you're like me and you think Adama Sanogo is going to go nuts this weekend, pick higher on his points projection, pick higher on his rebounds projection, maybe throw in a lower on Matt Bradley's scoring totals, a higher on Isaiah Wong, whatever it is that you like. Put them all together, and if you hit them all, then you can win as much as 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured out how to use it. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, that's F-I-E-L-D, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You guys ever get tired of trying to prove that you won an argument, that your takes weren't hot, they were just right? Well, I have an answer to all of your problems. Vaulted is a new sports prediction app that turns your opinions into facts. You can store all of your predictions and hot takes in your own vault now and forever. Challenge your friends, keep track of the results, and prove that you are, in fact, the smartest one in the room. Vaulted is also releasing a Final Four competition called their Last Four Pool. What amounts to a hot take challenge, it has a $5,000 prize pool. Who doesn't like free money? I like free money. So if you like free money like me, then go and download the Vaulted app at the link below. Sign up for your free 3-month trial and store your predictions now. And you know what the best part about the end of the college basketball season is? That signifies the start of spring, the start of summer, the start of hot weather, the start of late nights, the start of weekends on the water. And the best way to stay refreshed during the summer months is with Hornitos Ranch Water, a premium sparkling cocktail with a balance of freshly squeezed lime paired with smooth tequila notes. Hornitos Tequila is a 100% agave premium tequila from the lowlands of Jalisco. It's specifically from the town of Tequila. Originating from one of the most historic distilleries, Hornitos paved the way for all future tequila brands, starting with the tequila name. An official partner of the Houston Astros, you can buy Hornitos Ranch Water in a can, or you can come to Houston's best sports bar, Little Woodrow's in Edo, and get a fresh, handmade cocktail with Hornitos Tequila. There's nothing better on a warm spring day than Hornitos Ranch Water and a Houston Astros baseball game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Field of 68 Final Four preview show presented by our partners over at Bet River Sportsbook. We're presented by Underdog Fantasy. Use code FIELD to get a 100% deposit match up to $100 with your first deposit. Terrence Oglesby is here with me. Obviously, there is nobody that's sitting right here. it's time for us to address the situation, what happened with John Fanta. So I guess the easiest way to do it is to just jump right into it. So today, when we were getting ready, there was an incident. When we were getting ready to leave the hotel to come to the game, we told John that the Uber was leaving at 1:30. It was about 1:28. We texted him, we're waiting for you down in the lobby. About 1:33, the Uber shows up. I tell him that it's here. We all get in the Uber. It's 1:36. No Phantom to be found. So we left. We had to leave him behind. We couldn't bring Fanta with us in the Uber, but it looks like you were able to actually make it, and you were able to get your own car. So you're good?
This is what Roy Williams was trying to do a couple of years ago. April Fools! April Fools, America! Come on. To all the people that reached out and asked if I would be homeless or on the streets or without a job, everything is okay. Everybody's all right, folks. We're here to have fun. It's the Final Four. Happy Final Four Saturday, April Fools.
You know what my favorite part about all of this is? That like half of the field of 68 fell for it. Greg Waddell, hook, line, and sinker.
Did Greg fall for this?
Hook, line, and sinker.
Greg, did you?
he said, I still think it's yes. What Greg doesn't realize is this entire setup is just an elaborate prank for him to think that he's actually going to the Final Four. Final Four is next weekend. He doesn't realize that he's not here right now.
Honestly, we were having some fun. Did you believe it?
No.
Good. Yeah. Well, he was hooping today.
Yeah.
This guy was hooping today. In all seriousness, we're here to have a good time. All the stuff that folks have seen this week. I mean, I got to tell you, one of the people that I happened to be talking with yesterday had said something about offering me an opportunity. My opportunity is with the Field of 68. Field of 68 till I die. To steals the words of T.O. I love the Field of 68. I always will love the Field of 68. This guy, what you've built is special. Let's talk college basketball, though, gentlemen.
That's
point
what we're
is,
here for, right?
Yeah, that's what we're here. That's what we're here for. Hope you enjoyed hope you get a chuckle. For the people who were scared.
A titter.
What?
A chuckle, a titter.
A titter?
What?
A titter.
That's not
That's not a word.
That's not a word.
It's a word, 100%.
Is it
No.
a word?
A chuckle, a titter.
A titter is not a word.
It is.
It is now.
You're welcome. You're welcome,
Well,
America.
I thought the train was back on the tracks. It was on the tracks for about a half of a second. All right,
absolutely not.
Let's talk. I think you just had the reflection earlier today.
Reflection. Are you talking about the light on T.O.'s head?
Yeah.
By the way,
Was that a titter?
happy
was too
birthday to
easy.
Rob.
That was too easy.
Happy birthday to Rob.
Yes.
birthday
It's
to
Rob's
Rob.
birthday.
That's why you can't be mad at me for making everybody think that we fired John Fanta.
It's Rob's birthday. It's Rob's
Oh,
birthday.
man.
We signed a long-term deal.
Do you know this was all
Over
Dagan's
chips and
idea?
queso.
Over chips and queso.
Everything's
yeah.
Dagan's idea.
Yeah, everything was
all the
Dagan's
good, all the
idea.
good
Boss.
evidence. All right, let's. You were saying it here a couple hours ago. Like, can we just play some basketball now?
Oh,
Are we?
goodness. It feels like
I
we've been
cannot
here.
wait.
We're running to parties. We're doing shows. We're doing 4 hours a day, which I love. It's so much fun to talk basketball. But even more fun than talking basketball is watching basketball. And we're finally here. Final Four Saturday. It's awesome.
What are you most looking forward to in Game 1, FAU San Diego State?
To see if FAU can withstand the physicality of San Diego State. Those guys are really good and they're really old. And every time you doubt FAU, they just beat another physical team, another team that's bigger than them. It's no fluke. This is no Cinderella. These guys have been good all season. Are they going to be able to withstand the pressure of San Diego State? That's what I'm looking for the most.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what John L. Davis is going to be able to do, because I think he's going to be the guy. If you're San Diego State, that's who you're going to key on, right? Is that where you start the scouting report?
Yep.
And what we've seen from San Diego State is just how good they can be defensively when they want to guard.
Sure.
How tough they can be when they decide that they are going to focus on one player. And I think that that's going to end up being the guy. And look, I do think that Florida Atlantic has the players and the skill level, we've been saying this all week, to be able to beat them in one-on-one situations. Like what basically what San Diego State wants to do is create a situation where they're making you play one-on-one.
Sure.
And you got to have guys that can beat them one-on-one. And I think Florida Atlantic has dudes that can do that.
Yep.
They do. And when you think about it, John L. Davis, Elijah Martin, Nick Boyd, I think a Weatherspoon and Greenleaf, like they go a legit 9 deep.
Sure.
The interesting thing about it is, though, San Diego State counters with depth of their own. The fact that they can go from Nathan Mensah, who I think can be a problem in this game, again, he's the linchpin to what San Diego State does defensively, and that they can go to a Gueca Rope, who, when he has played, he's had a Klingon-like impact in the minutes that he gets for San Diego State, like we've seen with UConn with Klingon. But I do think Vlad Golden is massive to this game. He's got to play. He's got to fight. He's got to be tough, because at a certain point with San Diego State, they just take the will out of you. They take the will out of you.
You got a bunch of defensive ends out there trying to play two-guard, right? Like,
Yeah,
these guys are playing the wrong sport.
23, 24 years old.
And to elaborate on your point, FAU only has 2 players 6'8" or taller. Golden's one of them at 7'1". He has to be massive for FAU to be able to win.
Yeah. So when you think about this game, doesn't it have the makings? Because I've gone back and forth on prediction, and I think you could make a reason either way. Here's my prediction. Last possession.
Yeah.
Last possession.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be, you know the saying, not all close games are great games. I don't think this is going to be a great game visually.
You're such a hater.
I don't think this is going to be a great game aesthetically, but I think that it's going to end up being a close game and come down to a final possession. At the end of the day, that's what you want, right?
Yep.
You don't remember how great the game itself is. What you remember is the moments that matter.
Of course.
Yep.
Which
hoping-
this Final Four could use a moment.
So can I make a prediction right
it
now?
certainly could, yeah.
We're not supposed to do the bold predictions to the end, but I'm going off script. I don't care. I don't care anymore. We almost fired John Fenton today. I think we get a buzzer beater in the first game. I think we get a game winner.
That wouldn't shock me. However, I'm going to go somewhere different. I think the whole key to the game is FAU going to be able to make the next right play? Because not only are they exceedingly physical, San Diego State.
You love that. Can
I
you
love
explain that
phrase.
sign?
Well,
Explain that sign.
Well, because San Diego State likes to take you out of everything you do with their defense, they're going to take away your first option. What are you going to do after that? How quick are you going to be able to snap into that thing? That's what FAU needs to do today. And John L. Davis, he's going to have to be good. Golden's going to have to be good. Those are your 3 keys. Both those players, next right play. They do that, which I think they can. They've done it all tournament. I think FAU can win. I started out San Diego State. The more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards the Owls, because they just play so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn to game 2. Connecticut, Miami. Connecticut, the way that they've gotten here, it's been super impressive. I will ask you this big question, though. Mm-hmm. If there is anything that is concerning you about the UConn Huskies heading into this game, what is it?
I mean, other than Jordan Hawkins' gut health, other than that.
Gut health is huge.
Yeah, gut health is huge. The biggest thing is that Miami's guards are good enough to win on every single possession, right? They are good enough to beat. It doesn't matter how good of a defensive effort you have on a single possession against them. They can win. And they have 3 or 4 guys that can do it.
And they can win that individual possession.
Yes.
Which scares me more than anything is the fact that if the game remains close at the end, UConn hasn't played all that many close games. And during their losing streak, not only was it Andre Jackson figuring out how to play against that defense where they back up all the way into the paint, the monster defense.
Here, real quick on that.
Yeah.
You know what someone told me the other day?
Tell me.
You call it monster manning. You know what they call it?
What?
Dorking, as in dare the dork to shoot.
I thought there was going to be an acronym there, and there wasn't.
No.
Dare the dork to
wasn't.
shoot, which I think is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I like that.
Shout out to CJ Moore gave me that one.
Oh, he calls
Yeah,
it dorking?
He calls it dorking.
How'd he play today?
He was good. He handles. Well, CJ, have you ever played with CJ?
Well, it wasn't a ringing endorsement.
No, he was good. No, he like CJ's. He's a.
How were you?
He's crafty. I was good.
No,
today.
you have to give us a breakdown of how the day went.
I started out rough. First game
There was
and a half.
there was a media pickup game today.
Yeah.
T.O.
Sorry,
beat up on a
folks.
bunch of
assistant
sports
coaches.
writers.
Assistant coaches.
A bunch of sports writers.
No.
Big
there
media game.
No, there was a big media game.
Kellen Sampson.
We played. Kellen showed up, and then started out rough. First game and a half was brutal. After that, got loose, made some shots. Lost one game all day. We played for about 2 hours.
How many shots would you say that you took?
Oh, we're in the 30s, family. We're in the 30s. And you're not going to
And
stop.
there's no way that someone took more than 30.
There's no chance
Other
that
than
anybody else took more shots than me.
Hey, look,
But
T.O.
they knew
T.O.
what they
Man,
signed
we
up for.
said, we get it. Okay,
T.O.
Oglesby's pretty good.
T.O. These shots aren't going to take themselves, though.
I know.
The shots aren't going to take themselves. Someone's got
right.
to take them.
That's right.
Someone's got to get them up.
So take-
you guys need to make sure you ask Maddie how one of the game winners went
Okay.
while you're out there on the floor.
So call your shot, game 2.
You know what? I think UConn, the way they're playing, the only thing that really scares me, guys, is how's Jordan Hawkins going to be able to play? I mean, especially you want to be in a rhythm. You want to be able to shoot in the big arena some. He hasn't been able to do that because of this little stomach bug he has. If he's able to rebound and play well, when I say rebound, like get back on his feet, play well, get into some type of rhythm, I like UConn. That being said, the front court battle's huge. Miami, if it stays close, they've got shot makers. That could reign big as well. But I just think UConn, from a physicality perspective, guys, is going to end up winning.
Yeah, can I just say?
And I want the ACC to win. Let's just throw that in there.
Did you just pull my move?
No.
You pulled my move.
Not at all.
Yesterday you said Miami's going to win.
Not at all. Yeah, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just pulled
we've
my
been on
move.
so long, you're
Good job.
flip-flopping.
You're learning.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
here
so
with Dawson.
proud. I'm
It's
so
just
proud
like
of
I
you,
said
T.O.
yesterday.
Oh, really? Who's calling
Yeah.
out T.O.? Let's get some names
I'm so
in here.
proud of you, man. This is exactly
Yeah.
what you got to do. I tried to teach you this. You know what? You
There's
called me
one
out on
person.
this on the first year that we did the
The
marathon
thing
live
is,
stream
we
2
do
years
so
ago.
many shows, I can't hardly remember.
Exactly,
And
but
I
it
think
doesn't
some of these
matter.
are top
So now
stuff.
what you could, no matter what happens, you can go clip it out and you can say, "I told you I got it right."
Well, that's true.
There you go.
That's true.
Good
too.
job,
Who
man. You're
did I- who
learning.
did I- Sean who?
Crowley.
Oh,
Sean
man.
Crowley said stop
Oh, man.
flip-flopping.
So who did I pick yesterday? I thought I picked UConn yesterday.
No, you picked
Oh,
Miami.
come on, man.
No. Not in the basement. I didn't. I picked UConn.
Okay.
UConn
Is
and
there-
San Diego State too. I
We're-
picked. Now I
it-
did
we're in.
switch.
We're in. We're
Go
in.
back and check it.
Doesn't
You
matter.
check it.
Doesn't matter.
Pull
He's
up
on
your
you.
vault today.
We finally.
Can Miami? How does Miami stop UConn? How do they stop Andre Jackson the way that he's going right now? Who's going to guard Jackson?
I think if it's me, I think Jordan Miller is your best shot.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best weak side defender, the best help defender that they have? Because I honestly would probably put Jordan Miller on Alex Carabin and just get a little bit of extra length on him, and then let Wooga Poplar kind of run around and be that roamer and be the guy that tries to pull something from. But it doesn't matter. It's one of those two guys.
Yep.
It's one of those.
It has to
It's
be.
one of those two guys.
It has to be.
I'm not concerned about Jordan Hawkins for what it's worth. Like that dude is a gamer. If he is upright, if he's able to stand and able to walk, and as he came out of the UConn hotel today, he was sitting there eating a piece of toast, so he's able to at least keep something down.
Good for him.
But good for you.
You can relate.
It's like I've been there, man. It takes a while to get over.
36 hours, really.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about it at all. If he is physically capable of standing upright, he's going to be playing. He's going to be on that court. And he's going to be hooping.
It's still hard, though, guys, especially as a shooter. You require legs. You require getting set up. Your base has to be good. Like, that's what scares me a little bit about it.
The player that we're going to be talking about at the end of the night is?
If Miami wins, it's Isaiah Wong.
If Miami wins, it's Norchad O'Meara.
If San Diego State wins, it's Matt Bradley,
No question.
who has struggled the last couple of games. I think he's due. He's 3 for 17 his last 2 games. He is the top reason for this program, why they're standing here as a player, as an individual. He's their leading scorer. But it says all that much more about San Diego State that they've gotten here in spite of him. He hasn't been great offensively. Typically, when you get to the biggest stage, though, your best player comes back and plays a good game.
Yep.
I
I like
agree.
that. I like that point a lot.
I agree.
right. Any other predictions before we get out of here?
I already told you there's going to be a buzzer beater. Florida Atlantic's going to win on a buzzer beater.
And you like UConn?
I think
FAU-UConn.
I think UConn wins.
I said I'm rooting for it, Miami. I didn't say it. I didn't say they were going to win. I said
Hey,
for the league.
Tio, I have a question. When the bracket was released, do you remember where they seated Seton Hall?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
Are you
Weren't
kidding me?
Weren't they a 2 seed in the NIT?
I mean, should I resign right now?
We're not doing that again.
That's such
Not doing it
a.
again.
That's
Stand
such
out of the
a.
way.
We get to watch basketball.
Yeah,
man. Take us to the game, Fana.
America, this is what you have been waiting for. It's what we've been waiting for. It's why we cover this great sport. When the three of us started out DTF back in September, October to preview the season, there was not an inkling in our mind that could have seen these 4 teams as the Final Four. And that's what makes life beautiful. Just like a weather forecaster can say you're going to get 18 inches of snow and you only get 2, we could tell you 18 teams that are going to make the Final Four, and then you could get this 4. The fact is, college basketball is beautiful. It's beautiful in every sense of that word. We're going to enjoy a great night of hoops. We're going to be with you post-game, and we ask that you tune in. This is the Final Four. FAU, San Diego State. One of those 2 is going to compete for a national championship on Monday night at NRG Stadium. And then it's UConn and Miami. You don't think the Huskies are a blue blood? You're sorely mistaken. As for the Hurricanes, you don't think they should be here? They made the Elite Eight last year. They're part of the Atlantic Coast Conference. They deserve to be here. They have the firepower to be here.
Yep.
Let's ride. Let's have a night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you after the game from Houston, where we have no problems.